Hi, everybody. This is Tyler Yonker, aka Mrs. Yonks, with the Open DAO here for our first Development Alliance meeting. Super excited to have a great panel on board. Yonks, Y8785, eMoney, and Trait Sniper. We are also simulcasting to YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, and a few other places. If you are listening to us on YouTube, we do monitor those comments in real time. If you have questions or comments, we would love to hear your feedback. It also helps promote these videos by engaging with them. So say hi, ask any questions. We'd love to have that. The reason why we live stream all these meetings is to continue our fostered culture of openness and transparency, and to make sure that everybody knows that whatever we say is on the record, and we're really proud of what we're building here at Open DAO. So with that, I would love for everybody to give me a quick 30-second intro before we go live. So Jans, let's start with you, and then we'll go around the table.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Yonks, for all that you do. And if you haven't heard, Mrs. Yonks is my superpower. I'm not going to do a big intro here. I am loving facilitating the conversations amongst the alliances. And if you're tuning in on YouTube, make sure that you give us some thumbs up, engage in the comments here, or whatever channel that you may be coming on, because true story, we are multi-streaming to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Hopefully we'll be having that set up to go to the Open DAO Twitter account here sooner than later. So back to you, Mrs. Yonks.
Thanks, Yonks. eMoney, would love a 30-second intro.
Hey guys, my name's eMoney 2Zips. I am super excited to be engaged in this DAO. I've been involved in a couple of other DAOs at a much later part in the development process. Big time NFT collector. Love to talk about NFTs, but I really like this community because it's going to give collectors and creators a unified voice and reach to do some amazing things in the space and help protect anybody that wants to get involved.
Awesome. Welcome. Y8785, are you in a place where you can give us an intro right now?
Sure. Yeah. So this is my first DAO, and I'm super excited to get involved. I've got about 4 years of software development experience. Just trying to looking to see how I can help Open DAO in any way possible. Hoping to learn a little bit about how DAOs function in general, and all the development practices behind it. So super excited to learn quite a bit. Bought my first, I bought my first NFT on OpenSea. It was Savage Droids, and I've kind of just been heads down ever since. And much like the previous person, really excited about this organization, just to be able to help back and give back to the people that helped build it. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you so much. Trait Sniper, welcome to the stage. Give us a quick intro.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we are Trait Sniper. We are doing a rarity platform for NFTs. And yeah, super hyped to be in the DAO. This one, I think this is my first one. I've been following the founder from the 721 club. So yeah, I just want to help things out if there's any opportunities. And yeah, I feel the mission and everything about SOS is really aligned with what we want to do in the space. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. So what Yonks has on the screen right now is our Notion page, and this is what we're going to try and get through as many of these as possible. We'd love feedback from our panel, and we also monitor the YouTube comments in real time. So if you have questions, comments, whatever, we'd love any feedback, as you guys are part of this meeting too, and here on YouTube. So Yonks, why don't you go ahead with the first part of the agenda?
Yeah, and I wanted to showcase real quick the Google Calendar. This is one of the things that Mrs. Yonks and I have found invaluable as far as staying apprised. And let me bring that open here real quick so that everybody can take a look. This will give you an idea. We're right here. We're on the Development Alliance. True story, this Google Calendar not only does it make it easier for everybody to stay apprised as far as the opportunities to engage here, but it is also a component of our overall content strategy with the Google Calendar. And I'm not going to go into any more details on that. I'll share a link in the live stream here so that everybody can engage on that. But as you can see, this is just the first of, we've got 3 or 4 more Alliance meetings here today. And then the one that everybody needs to make sure that you're able, this is going to be the Mac Daddy main event here where 9x9x9 and is going to be engaging with the entire community. So looking forward to that. Make sure that that's on your calendar. And then if you've got any questions or thoughts on the live stream format, created this page here where it answers some of the questions as far as that. So I'm not going to go into any more detail on that. One of the opportunities that we have here, and this is echoed throughout the entire, and this is something that we were talking a little bit about. I think that this one right here is probably one of the most important is create a seamless onboarding process for new talents or new people that want to contribute to the DAO. And we were showing some of the DAO, the SOS, the Open DAO here has absolutely shattered records across the board. And I'm going to see if I can find this. This is something that one of the people in the Marketing Alliance Travel Tech put together. And I wanted to bring this up here just to show everybody like how fabulous the we break records. I mean, the numbers that's happened here within the last couple of weeks, that's one of the things that attracted Mrs. Yonks and I to this opportunity. Because we one of the DAOs that we're participating in, there was this misbelief that DAOs can't move fast. And case in point here, SOS is absolutely on fire. WAGMI 2022. So going back to the agenda on Notion here, and I think some of the best or one of the best examples that regularly gets brought up here, and there's some solid people from Bankless DAO. They've are categorically a content or media DAO. They have an amazing onboarding experience, and we want to create that here because one of the things, as a lot of people have already, a couple people alluded to here, NFTs have exposed or introduced people to this crypto blockchain world in 2021 in unprecedented numbers. And what's going to happen in 2022, and the Open DAO is going to be absolutely a catalyst for that, is more and more people are going to be like, hey, what's going on here? This Open DAO came out of nowhere and they're taking the world by storm, which is what we're doing. So the opportunity for us to create an easy mechanism so that people can contribute, because we absolutely believe that everybody can contribute their unique skills and gifts and talents to make Open DAO and the world at large a better experience.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we are on a hard stop at 55 on the hour, so we got a lot to get through. Seamless onboarding. This could be actually its own call. For those of you who are involved in Bankless, their onboarding is excellent. I know there are some other DAOs. For White eMoney and Trade Sniper, are you guys part of any communities that you love the onboarding of, or what are ideas that you have to make that go?
So I actually have a huge passion for this because my background is in restaurants. And one of the things that is super, super important when you are creating a experience for guests is making sure that everyone in the building is on the same page about how they are acting in front-facing situations, the best way to resolve things in back of house, all kinds of stuff. And I actually have helped write a number of tutorials and training programs specifically And I think that that'll be a huge asset to this, because one of the things about restaurants, no matter what level you're at, is that you don't really get a great choice of candidates. You're not pulling Ivy League people in. So you have to adapt your training to be smoother and easier to digest, so that it gives you a much better rate of success and retention in the long run. So I've got a bunch of ideas about that. And I also, well, I'll just leave it there. That's one of the big things that I've done though.
That's great. We love that. So would the best place to do that to be just start posting them in the dev team in Discord, or do we need to set up a different channel for that? What's the best way that people can collaborate with you to make that work?
Just at me in the development alliance for now. I'm trying to get something set up. My DMs are literally going so fast right now that they're getting pushed out of existence before people can reply to me or I can reply to them. So for now, just at me in the server and I will come respond to you. I'm trying to work out some other way to have longer term, like archived communications so that I can cross-reference. But as soon as I get that set up, I will definitely let you.
Well, something Yanks and I have used in Retoken, which is our other project, is the private threads. We use those all the time, and if you not for everybody, but if you're having a good conversation with somebody, and then if somebody else wants to jump in, that may be a possibility. White and Trade Sniper, do you have? Oh, sorry, Imani, did you have something to add there?
I just wanted you to just, if y'all will show me that later, that would be super useful.
Yeah, absolutely. White and Trade Sniper, have you been part of any DAOs that did something really well or on point that that you'd like to add about onboarding?
No, this is my first DAO, but just from a, how do you herd people and get people moving in the right direction? From a development perspective, I would move towards, documenting some of these processes, automating some of the onboarding processes for a new developer to come on and maybe do some local testing and actually contribute to the project. So yeah. That's where my background lies, is trying to organize engineers. So from that perspective, I would probably rely on GitHub and, just extensive documentation, and let eMoney kind of run through like that human side of things and drive the humans towards that documentation and kind of create a cohesive flow.
Yeah, that's great. Yanks, could you add that to the list, both of those, so we don't miss that? And then Trade Sniper, what do you think?
Yeah. So we are talking about like development in the sense of coding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think White had it right. Just need to set up a clear documentation page, GitHub, with like setup and yeah, documentation, and maybe we have like some kind of buddy system where we have like mentors and to guide for the newcomers, so the onboarding get easier for them. But it should be like almost like any like others big open source project on GitHub, and we will process it from there. Love
it. So Yanks, I saw that you just added Gitbook. Are you guys all familiar with Gitbook? Have you used it before? Have you ever used GitHub and Gitbook? Are these familiar?
Yeah, those are familiar.
Okay.
So are we gonna? I already saw that there was a decent amount of chat in the development alliance on Discord. So are there any objections to just moving forward with that? Because I think having from what I've seen, Gitbook creates the cleanest documentation experience, and it's very widely utilized within not only the crypto and blockchain space, but it's by far the best tool that I've seen for creating some of this documentation. Now, we also have Notion as well, so that's one of the things that we want to be cognizant of, is that we don't want to like duplicate the information, because if you have information in one place and another place, it can be, cumbersome for maintaining some updates. So that's something that we'll need to be thoughtful about. And so that's kind of my thoughts. I think that Gitbook, but I'm open to hear some conversations. I know that it's very easy to have tool sprawl, and that came up. It's already come up on a couple of our alliance calls today. So, and this is something that I think that we should put forward as far as opening up the conversation to the larger, because one of the concerns that I have with Notion is that Notion is not a free tool and it's not an open source tool. And I'm a open source fanboy myself. I'm on GitHub at Team Yonks, and I've set up both organizations and Gitbook. So that's something that I'm very familiar of. I'm more of an open source fan. So I'm not a developer, but I do have long roots in information technology space. So
Yeah, I'd share the same concern with tool sprawl. In the past, I mean, you just kind of have to classify what kind of information goes into which system, right? So is Notion more of an operational thing, and then development resources and guides stay in GitHub and Gitbook, or however you want to divide it up there? But yeah, +1 to not having tool sprawl.
Yeah, we
Right.
could, yeah, we should absolutely put that on the list as to how to avoid, what is the maximum usage of Notion, because all the conversations we've had so far, that seems to be the tool that people like. We've talked about Trello and Asana and a few other things in addition to GitHub and Gitbook. And yeah, we don't want to be all over the place. And so that's good stuff. Yonks, could you go back to the agenda, please? So we talked about the Notions page. We talked about some of these resources and onboarding and other alliances to help with development. Dev is one of those things that's so broad, it can really be engaged with any or all of the other teams. And how do we want to do that? Something that I really admire, and I mentioned Bankless earlier, I really admire about them is they've got hundreds, maybe thousands of channels in their Discord, and you can only see the ones that you're in the guilds for. So you don't get 1,000 channels in Discord, which is just really helpful to kind of get what you need. So how do we coordinate with other teams? How do we make stuff work that is clean? And what do you guys think about this?
Well, real quick, we used Let Us Meet, and I wanted to get some feedback from everybody. This is something that we've been doing in our other alliance calls, and I don't know if everybody's used Let Us Meet. What was everybody's initial thoughts and impressions on that for the coordination of times here for today's call?
Yeah, I think it's good, but we need some kind of Google Calendar for invitation, so it's synced with on the calendar.
We do have that, Trey. That's a great point. So if you are looking the YouTube comments, and I'm hoping that we can get this added to an official link at some point, because we get this request all the time, something easy. So the link is on the YouTube comments right now. If any of you guys are interested in subscribing to it, please do. And that you're not going to get an invitation to that, but you will get, okay, Young's supposed to that in the Zoom comments too. You won't get an invitation to every meeting, but it'll just populate, so you can come whenever you can, and that'll be great. Had a couple comments from Leroy in the YouTube audience. One way to allow alliances to request help is to provide a template on GitHub, a request for comment or request for development. Alliances often use that template to submit requests and solicit comments. So I think that's really valuable. Thanks for that feedback, Leroy. That's really helpful. Do we have any thoughts on that, or just a good idea in general?
Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a multitude of ways to receive RFPs, right? So just whatever we want to work into our workflow. I mean, I know if we wanted to keep everything in Discord, you could do a bot where you could submit tickets, basically, or something more formal with like a Google form, or what the YouTube comment was about. So yeah, any of those work.
White or any of you guys, do you have experience installing bots? Are you familiar with them? There was a help ticket, or there was a support ticket bot that was really good. I think it was in the ETH Denver server that if you're having any problems with that, you can submit a ticket to that channel, and then you can you can only see your ticket in that channel, and then you can close it out once you're done. So have you guys had experience with any bots that you really like? Are there any good ones that we should look at recommending to install from a kind of a tech support internal?
We are using a bot called Ticket Tunes. I think it's very good and cheap. So it allows and remember to create a ticket, and the ticket will get like categorized into a category on Discord. Yeah. So
Is that ticket TUNES?
Ticket Tune dot it was it.
Okay. Ticket tool. Oh, excuse me, I misunderstood you. Okay, yeah, that's great. Yanks, could you add that on the follow-up list too, please? That ticket tool will be really helpful. Are there any, while we're on this subject, are there any other bots that would be really important for us to take a look at?
Yeah,
and I just go ahead, White.
One of them
or E-Money
that I think we definitely need. We are talking about Discord bots, right?
Discord bots, yeah.
Okay, one of them that I definitely think we should look into is BMO, for anything that has to do with the Alliance, because it will track when scammers hop in and try to DM blast people and auto ban them.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that BEMO? I'm not familiar with it.
BEEMO. It's 2 E's.
BEMO.
BEMO.
Yeah, that sounds super important, especially for a Discord that's this big.
I'll reach out to the devs on my main NFT project and see if there's any other really good ones. They have a pretty awesome package put together. So I'll circle up with you on that shortly.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
The most recent Discord I built, I've got quite a few. I'll send them over just as a list, and you can sift through them and decide which ones we like and which ones we don't.
Yeah, we would love that. E-Money, Leroy just posted his Discord name, Zorfio, and I apologize, Leroy, if I'm mispronouncing that. ZORPHEUX. So if you can connect with him, it sounds like he's got some really good ideas and some tech background that would be really helpful. So, and Leroy, if you want to tag E-Money in that channel, I don't know if you caught earlier when he said his computer is actually catching fire from all the DMs. So I want to make sure we don't miss you.
And I also added hal.xyz. It's a super easy to do. I think it's just a webhook integration. And one of the great things about that is like it integrates with snapshot.org, which is where we have our governance. And I'll bring that up here too, because I know that a lot of people aren't familiar with snapshot.org. I did already create a video showing people how to vote on a proposal. I'm not sure what type of cadence that we'll have going forward as far as proposals here, but I think that this is a super easy one. It's super easy to integrate. It's very low-hanging fruit. So I would actually advocate that we move forward with creating a proposal to get this one installed, because what this does is it automatically, whenever a new snapshot proposal, it creates a message in Discord. You also have the opportunity of sending that out via a tweet. So it's just an automatic thing that makes it easy to provide an announcement, or, you know, just a message saying, hey, here's the official proposal that was created on snapshot.org. So
yeah, that's a good one. And Yanks, did you see White in the comments? We mentioned BMO and Ticket Tool, and then he also mentioned Arcane. I don't know if that's Dino or Dino and Carlbot. So I think Carlbot has a lot of the same functionality as Me6. I don't know if Me6 is already involved or if we need both.
100%. There's overlap. Yes.
Do we have Me6 involved in this thing? I feel like I've seen it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it's named Open DAO Manager.
Oh, okay, perfect. So could you please add Arcane and Dino to the research list? And then White, can you give us a quick recap of what those do? I'm not familiar with Arcane or Dino.
Oh gosh. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, no problem.
I don't remember which one, but one of them took care of the spam that eMoney, I believe, was mentioning.
Okay, that needs to be a super high priority, so we'll definitely put that on the list of research. And so that's a great, so we've got a great list of bots to get started with. And then what's next on the agenda, Youngs?
I think one of the biggest opportunities, and this is something that I was talking to eMoney about coming up here, is I think one of the biggest opportunities that we have is to engage with the compensation alliance, like looking here at the Open DAO on the website. This compensate verified scam victims. So putting some type of like mechanism, like whether it's an intake form on Google Forms or Typeform, or, and I don't know what the capabilities are within Notion, because the more that we can embrace the tool that's already been put forward, Notion. So if any of the developers, because one of the reasons that I understand that Notion is so popular is that it has a lot of awesome capabilities to help this. So the easier that we can do to make it, like for the compensation alliance, to provide an intake mechanism for this, because I think the better that we can do, one, telling the stories of these victims, and then two, creating a framework that makes it easier for those teams to deliver on this. Because the better that we do, as from a dev team perspective, delivering on these bullet points and providing the framework to make it easy for the other alliances teams, we deliver on making it easy, everybody's going to love the dev team, right?
Absolutely. And then eMoney, or it sounds like White is not going to be able to talk for the rest of the call. eMoney and Trait, do you have any tools that stop Sybil attacks? You said you stopped spammers, but can you stop multiples?
So I don't actually have a lot of bot installation experience, but from what I understand, there are ways to integrate bots together onto servers. I think that a lot of the bot developers do, they try to make their programming as compatible with other bots as possible, specifically for that. But as I said, I don't have a lot of personal experience with it. I just know that there's a couple on my personal server that have been doing an exceptional job. We had 3 attacks yesterday and none of them really got through at all. So it was pretty useful. And I just saw another server get taken down like 3 days ago. The I can't even remember what it's called. Fiat Lux got its server wiped by bots just bombing the Discord until they could shut the Discord down. So it can cause a lot of problems. And I'll be happy to coordinate with whoever like gets into what bots we need from some of the things that I've seen. And then I also have a group of people I can cross-reference with to make sure that we're really getting a good defense on that.
Yeah, that's really great. So the where do we go? Oh, something else I want to talk about was the bounty boards. I don't know if this is the right time for this. This may be, I may want to bounce this over to the AMAs, but do we want to talk about bounties? Do we want to, how do we want to do this?
All right, so bounties and the compensation notions, I think that we need to let the Treasury board, we need to link up with the Treasury board quickly about that, because to be frank, I don't really know that much about how this is going to play out, but I would prefer to have some people that understand economics at a much better level than I do, so that whatever we're proposing, it might sound like a good idea, but it might be economically inadvisable. Like we might need to put in place, like we can't fully compensate people, like we can only compensate them up to a certain point, or the bounty should be stacked for level of danger that was avoided, or something like that, without hurting the assets of the treasury, especially early on, because once we've got like some solid revenue streams going, it'll be a much better, a much easier question to ask. But as we're building this out, we know what we want to have important to us, but we also need to be cognizant of the fact that it is entirely possible to do too much in too little time, and cause issues for all of us, is my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And I'm already seeing tons of people saying, I got rug pulled, how do I get my money back? And I thought, I don't think that was ever the intention of saying that sucks and that's terrible and it should never happen, but it's also probably not realistic.
The way that we tell people about that also is going to be critical. That's something that we're going to have to get into with the marketing team, because the principle behind the idea is great. You know, as a scam victim myself, like I never even thought there was a chance that anybody was ever going to help me with that. That's why I love my home server so much, is because they literally stopped me from being completely put out of the space. But I also think that we need to have practiced hands crafting the messages and the delivery on those messages about those things. So we should definitely go over the form and function of things like the bug bounty and the compensation, but we really want practiced marketing hands and advertising hands handling the initial deployment and secondary rollout phase on those two initiatives. Because it would be, I mean, I love the idea of bounty boards. It's actually something that makes me feel significantly more confident in investments, because people are putting real money on the line to attract. I mean, you can make an income bounty hunting, and so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, there's kind of different things. The recovery on the rug pulls and the scams is kind of category A, and then category B for bounties is we're going to give you X tokens for delivering some work, or we're going to use Coordinate, or we're going to use something. So it's a little bit different when you're dealing with a social token that doesn't have any monetary value. When you have something that has as big of a monetary value as this, I think we have to be careful about what we start paying for and what we think is valuable that we should pay for, because I don't want to take advantage of people's skill sets, but I also just want to make sure that we're paying for things that we should pay for, and we're not paying everybody for everything. I mean, I heard somebody say the other day, that not related to Open DAO, but I should get paid for every tweet. I should get paid for this. I should get paid for that. I was like, that's actually not the way this works. We're a community. We support each other. You know, it's kind of. So let's we as I mentioned before, we do have a hard stop here at in 10 minutes. So I wanted to get through the rest of this real quick. And where'd my board go? So we talked about seamless onboarding, process for other things, creation for other, create process for others to contribute to development, and coming up with a bounty board. Let's spend the last 5 minutes brainstorming. And for anybody in the audience, what else did we miss? What other ideas do you have? What else do we want to talk about? I feel like we covered a lot on this meeting, and we've got a lot of pretty clear things to present to. I don't know if it's the multi-sig or the mods or who or how, or we just start voting on stuff. What else do we need to talk about on this call?
I think that we've got a lot of stuff to go through. And again, that's one of the things that I'm going to be participating in other alliances and trying to bridge the conversations there as much as possible. And besides, like one of the question marks will be, how much does the community love this live streaming format? And if you're watching YouTube or whatever, make sure that you smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, give us some comments either during the live stream or after the fact. So one of the other opportunities is, if we embrace this, making it easier for the event facilitators to execute and create this format will be, I think, another opportunity for the dev team to get a gold star in the hearts of the community. One of the reasons that we leaned heavily into this is that we've had such positive experience with this live streaming format. Also, we talked about the onboarding experience, just to be able to go to, like, make that as streamlined as possible. And that's one of the things that I've seen as a reoccurring task across multiple of the alliances that have already participated in, is a recurring thought. So that's all that I've got, Mrs. Yonks.
Yeah, that's great feedback. One other thing, we had such a question from the audience, and I don't know if this is the right forum for this or not, but he was asking about trading it on an L2 chain so we could stop paying so many gas fees. Is that a possibility? I don't know anything about the back end of dev of moving something from chain to chain, or is it creating a parallel token? I mean, you guys done that? Are you familiar with how you move it to Polygon or some other network to lower the gas?
I know a couple of things about that. You actually so Polygon's an L2 and a layer 2 solution for the ETH network, and there's a couple of them out there. The ones that, like, branching it onto Solana and other things are going to be a little bit more difficult, or I don't know as much about them. I don't know if it'll be more difficult, but I'm sure that we can source some devs with some knowledge in the community to get on, like, pre-planning that. But in the Ethereum network, if you want to bridge something in, you can literally just wrap it up as a token. So for example, a Bitcoin can be wrapped into a WBTC.
Sure.
And you can do that with literally any asset on any blockchain, as long as it can get to a bridge to Ethereum. Not all networks have bridges to Ethereum, but there are some specifically that are making big moves towards making it easier. Cosmos, Loopring, there's a couple of them. So we can definitely put that on the agenda for discussion shortly.
Yeah, Dominic, that's a great idea. And Leroy had mentioned Wormhole and a couple of other tools. So Dominic, that's a great question. I would encourage you to attend the AMA. Again, that's happening at noon Eastern USA time or 5 p.m. UTC here Monday, January 3rd. So if you can make that, that's a great question for those guys, because I'm sure that they have thought through some of that. We've just got 5 minutes left to go. So any last comments, feedback before we wrap up?
WAGME 2022, we've got a huge opportunity and also a responsibility too. The world is going to be watching what we do here, and I am so excited, and that's one of the reasons that hopped on this, because I see a huge opportunity and a huge responsibility to deliver an amazing experience for people as they are looking to engage in DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, in the Web3 ecosystem. So looking forward to bringing all that I can to assist, and we're all working together here. That's one of the things that's so fabulous about that. But that's all that I got. Looking forward to 2022.
Absolutely. WAGME for life, baby.
Love it. Well, on behalf of Yonks, Y8785, eMoney2 Zips, Trait Sniper, and me, thank you guys all so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.